Hello again, friends, and welcome to another episode here on Doc G's Wine and Spirits Review. So, welcome, and if you remember last week, just going back 1 week, I told you that for 2025 I wanted to start doing a wine grape of the month and also a special cocktail of the month. And as you can see by the things assembled here on the table, I am about to do that for you. So welcome to the first episode of Cocktail of the Month. And with the weather the way it's been, I decided that I would just take a very simple cocktail that would be good really any time of the year. But the way we're going to kick this one up really goes hand in hand with the kind of cold weather that we've been having. We've just had a very nasty week of sub-freezing temperatures, and it's time for a nice warm cocktail. So what I'd like to present to you today is a cocktail. It's a riff on the Old Fashioned. And the name of the drink is simply called the Cinnamon Old Fashioned. Now, to get to a cinnamon Old Fashioned requires an extra step in your process. But you all know the Old Fashioned has got to be one of the easiest drinks in the world to make. The Old Fashioned itself is just bourbon. Oh, you can do rye if you want, but bourbon whiskey, simple syrup, a little bit of water, some Angostura bitters, and you can throw in an orange or an orange peel and garnish it with a cherry if you want. And that's it. You stir it up, put it over a big ice cube, and you're done. So this is going to take about 3 minutes to make, if not less. But I want to talk about, so you say, well, what's a cinnamon Old Fashioned? Well, to substitute the simple syrup, the cinnamon Old Fashioned, you have to prepare in advance. And I don't think this is anything you can buy. You can just Google somewhere on the internet. I'll probably post it for you if you're interested. I used liquor.com's recipe, and I made my own cinnamon syrup today. And very simply, the cinnamon syrup requires you making your own simple syrup and then basically steeping cinnamon sticks in it. So what I did was just to have a little bit. It's right here in this bottle. It's the ratio is 1 to 1, whatever amount of water you want to use. We took a half a cup of water. I use stevia to keep the calories down, and it's the safest version of the artificial sweeteners, especially the one that you make with dextrose. Make sure you get that one rather than the other chemicals, erythritol, that you'll see out there. That erythritol supposedly is not good for you, but get a stevia. We buy stevia in the raw. It has dextrose in it, and it has no calories. So we used a half a cup of that, warmed up the water, let the stevia dissolve, and we threw in 4 or 5 cinnamon sticks and let it steep for 8 hours. 6 to 8 hours, I think it was. And we doctored the recipe up a little bit by adding in a little teaspoon of our homemade vanilla, which is something my wife makes and uses in baking. So that's what's in here, in our cinnamon simple syrup. So we're going to use that as the basis for this Old Fashioned. And to make an Old Fashioned, I'm going to use this High West bourbon. Don't use your most expensive bourbon in these. So you start off, I'm just going to guess the pour here, but it's 2 ounces. So that's about a shot, and maybe a little more. There we go. There's your shot of bourbon. I use this High West. It's a very good bourbon, mid-priced. I want to get into bourbon here today. We're going to keep it very simple. So the next thing that you need, and I've pre-measured it here so I didn't have to worry about, unlike I didn't pre-measure that, you put in just 1 teaspoon of your cinnamon syrup. It's very, very powerful. And then you take that, you stir it up. There's really not much to this drink with ice. So put that down. It's not going to be much. And you should use a very large ice cube because you don't want to dilute or you don't want to diminish the drink with too much. Now you see, that's perfect. That's just a little cloudy there. You garnish it with your cinnamon stick. It won't even fit. And you can garnish it, I like to rub the orange on there with your orange, and you're done. The only thing left to do is to hit it with a couple 3 dashes of bitters. We'll stir that around. Let it fuse into the drink. And cheers. I'll tell you how this is. I love old fashions. I can't imagine I'm not going to like this. Perfect. Perfect for the warm weather. Excuse me, perfect to warm you in the cold weather. I said that totally wrong. You have another sip. You can really smell the cinnamon. This would be good in a lot of other drinks. I'm going to have to find some other cocktails where the cinnamon syrup would really work. It would work really well over a vanilla ice cream too. So there you have it. You could doctor this up a little bit, add a little more bourbon. You can double the dose. You can do a double in this, and then you just double the amount of cinnamon syrup that you put in it. But it's got a lovely, spicy, cinnamony smell. If you love cinnamon, you're going to love this winter cocktail, the cinnamon old fashioned. So that's all I have for today. I do have one thing. Remember to like at the bottom on Facebook. You can watch me on YouTube at drglo53. And any comments and words that you want to share would be appreciated by the people. I know you're still out there viewing. Like I told you, Facebook isn't letting me see who you are. So I do have one little request. There's something different about me today. And the first person who makes any comment about it and is correct, someday when I see you, I'll share a bottle of wine with you gratis from my wine collection. So until I hear from you, or if I don't, at any rate, we'll see you soon. Cheers and stay warm.